Right, welcome right in the coupon for William Hill with the best looking Ferguson. Derek, how are you, mate? Alright?
That's debatable for sure. What one? We're talking about Barry or Lewis?
No, Lewis is better looking, isn't he? But you're better looking than Barry.
For sure.
Barry's 40th the other week, how was it?
It was, aye. Well, I didn't take part in the festivities.
No invited?
No, well, I think he went to Madrid. I think he went away with Big Bob Malcolm. Must have been good. They missed their flight back home, so it must have been a good weekend.
Right, mate, on to the football. Alex McLeish got the Scotland job. What's your views on that?
Well, he was always in the running, Big Alec. But I'm quite pleased that he's got the job. I think it's a job for an experienced man. He's obviously been there before, done it. I thought he's had to put up with quite a bit of criticism, unfairly. But he's worked at all levels. Good man manager, and I think he's got a decent group of players to work with now. So I think things are looking pretty good.
Only problem, it's another ginger in the job, isn't it?
What a ginger.
Yeah, right. What players that haven't been involved in the squad? Any that you'd like to see maybe get a shot under the new manager?
I just think there's we obviously talk about Robertson, we talk about Tierney. You look at the big boy Suter as well that's coming through. The big boy up at Aberdeen, what's his name? The big centre, McKenna. So they're young guys and they're only going to get better. So and they're at good clubs and working with obviously with Derek and Big Craig. Are going to get coached well. So I think that's always been our Achilles heel, maybe at the back, but it looks as if it's going to be one of our strongest parts of our team.
Do you think Alex will blood the young players in, or do you think he'll go with the tried and tested?
Well, I think he's going to have the opportunity when they're off to Mexico. That's another debate, isn't it? But I think he could use that to bring in the young players, have a look at them, and it's not just he'll know what they're like. Obviously, in terms of their ability, what they're all about, but you've got to get to know people, what they're like as guys, and see if they'll kind of fit into that squad. I think that's what Gordon Strachan was really good at. You've got to try and bring that club mentality.
On to Rangers, mate. Good result at Hamilton at the weekend. What did you make of that performance? Defensively, no great?
Well, do you know something? It was an absolute shambles, I thought, from both sides. Hamilton were all over the place. And when you're playing up against pace and movement, you look at Murphy, Candeas, Morelos, Windus for a deeper area. They caused Hamilton all sorts of problems. But you look at the other side, they conceded 3 goals, which would be a real disappointing thing for Graham Murty. So they'll need to kind of tighten up, but certainly you look at from midfield to front, they look a real threat.
The madman Windass got a hat-trick. Would you say that this is his best form in a Rangers jersey?
Yeah, I think he made a wee mistake a couple of weeks back, that's one thing, you don't go there, you don't try and wind up the fans, They spend a lot of money and they go and they're very vocal, so you've got to take the criticism, but he's answering it in the right way. He's sticking the ball in the back of the net, and I think with him playing in a deeper area, just behind Morelos, so hard to pick up, and those late runs into the box, for a midfield player, if you're marking him or trying to get close to him, so hard to do.
I wanted to ask you about his comments on the pitch. Obviously, your boy plays with Hamilton. What did you make of that, saying get rid of the AstroTurf? Did the boys like playing on it at Hamilton?
Well, to be fair, it's not the best AstroTurf. I think there's a lot of wear and tear on that. I think, to be fair, the Ackies are going to rip it up. They're going to put down a different surface. I think it's still going to be synthetic, but at the moment you've got to say it's one of the poorer ones out there.
Are you worried for Aki's Premiership status, or do you think they could start?
No, I'm worried because of your conceding the amount of goals that Aki's are. It's always going to be a problem. So they're used to being in a dogfight, but I think it's a real worry when you're conceding.
On to Celtic, bad result at the weekend against St Johnstone, bad performance as well. What did you make?
I think Brendan Rodgers had to kind of shake things up. Obviously there's huge games coming up. Obviously tonight they're playing against Zenit. So these guys that get their opportunity, you've got to take it. So in a way you could look at it that maybe they'll let Brendan down a little bit. So in saying that, everybody's saying it's a disappointing result. I just think we're that used to expecting Celtic to kind of roll teams over. So give credit to St Johnstone. They went there and they played ever so well and stuck to their guns and got a crucial point for them.
What did you make of his comments about the St Johnstone's players?
I think it's quite cute, quite clever. It deflected maybe for his own side's deficiencies. But then you look at Tommy Wright. Tommy Wright actually backed him up. So, but you do wonder, why you can turn it on one week and then the next week it's not quite there. So so it's out there for the St Johnstone players. They've got the opportunity this weekend to go and answer that criticism, and the only way to do that is go out and put on a good performance.
You think that result of the weekend glitz Rangers back in with an Old Firm coming up as well?
Well, you'd hope so, because we all want a title race, but I'm not so sure. I think still 9 points is a huge gap at this stage of the season, and just the quality that Celtic have. And you know what, I think at times this season they have played below par, what we've expected, but I think they've got gears in that team, and they can go up a level or two.
Great result for the Ginger Prince Lenny at the weekend. Some result against Aberdeen. You think they're nailed on to finish above Hearts this year?
It's going to, well, they're going to finish above Hearts, obviously, but
how far can they go, do you think?
Do you know something? The second spot's a great race, isn't it?
It's
Aberdeen, Rangers.
It's a good league this year, isn't it?
I think the last time I was inside, I said to you, for me, I've watched every SPFL side. For me, the most entertaining side, attack-wise, is Hibs and under Neil Lennon. And do you know something? Losing a few players. We spoke about Stokes. You know, he's brought in other players, you know, banging in the goals and playing ever so well.
Scott Allen, that midfield three of McGeoch, Allen and
McGinn.
Brilliant,
No, McGinn's he's one of my favourites. I've watched McGinn since he was a 14-year-old, playing against my older boys, and he's just, year by year, he's get better. McGeoch, that sitting player that gives you that kind of quality. And Allen, you know, we all talk about his potential, and maybe under Neil Lennon, he's going to show that potential.
Is it worrying for Hibs with the three? Do you think they could leave in the summer?
Certainly. Well, I would think maybe McGinn. There's quite a few. Obviously, Moyes was up watching on West Ham. I think.
You think he could play that level?
Easy.
Yeah,
aye.
Good.
And I don't say that lightly, because I think he's got it in his locker. You know, again, he'd go another level.
On at the coupon, mate. Frank's coupon was on its arse by 3 o'clock on Saturday. So we need a result for you, mate. Dundee versus Motherwell, what we saying?
I tell you what, it's come to crunch time of the season, isn't it? Dundee down the kind of bottom end of the table, under Neil McCann. Again, play some great stuff, but you know, liable to concede goals. I was thinking about that one as maybe a draw, but I'm just because the pressure's on a little bit, I'm going to plump for Dundee just to edge it.
Okay, Hamilton Accies versus Thistle.
Hate to say this, but I mean, I've got a soft spot for Accies. Obviously, my boys playing in that team, but if you're conceding goals the way they are, and Thistle have been playing pretty well of late. Unlucky, you know, to lose a last-minute goal against Dundee last week. I'm going to, again, it'll be tight, you know, it'll be tense, but I think Thistle might just edge that.
Big man of leather, you when you get in there.
Yes, of course, I know, I probably will.
Rangers versus Hearts.
Some cracking games this weekend, Si. Again, this is going to be tight. I think there'll be goals in it, but I just think that that forward line of Rangers, from middle to front, I think they might just have a little bit too much for Hearts. But in saying that, Hearts defensively have been absolutely superb this season. So again, but if you're at home, that crowd behind you, again, I'm just going to plump for Rangers. Okay,
St Johnstone versus Ross County.
Another cracker, because it's a biggie for St Johnstone, because they've been getting dragged into that relegation battle. Obviously, with Coyley, with County, you know, they're just desperate to get points from wherever they can get. A win would be brilliant for them. But I just think that criticism we spoke about earlier, that Brendan Rodgers and Tommy Wright is put forward towards their players, I think St Johnstone players will stand up to the task, and I'll take St Johnstone for that one.
Okay, and last, Aberdeen versus Celtic.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute beauty. Again, with the game in Europe, you know, is it going to take a lot out of Celtic? If they win this game tonight and they go through to the next round, just think about the confidence. It'll be oozing through the players. So if that's that scenario, I would take Celtic to win. But the other side is, if they get a disappointing result, I think they want to put things right. And Aberdeen have struggled against Celtic, against Rangers. You can look at they're at home. But remember the last time, Celtic went up there and absolutely schooled Aberdeen. So I'm going to go for an away win with Celtic.
Top man, thanks mate.
Cheers, Si.